Welcome to Total Financial Makeover with Debo at Dejana. Move from lack or barely enough to abundance. Renting to letting. From struggling to thriving. Blick to living the dream. Totally in control. Your head above the waters. Taking safe and superb financial decisions always.
Hello, yes, you're welcome to Total Financial Makeover with Debo at Dejana. And today is a very special episode, honestly. You can see that my co-host, regular co-host is not here, Rose, but I have with me today, and this is someone I'll be talking to throughout today. Let me just say a little bit about this. So today, right, we're talking to someone, and the topic of today is what early financial exposure can do for you. It's a session with an undergraduate self-made landlord. Yes, here I have with me an undergraduate, so she's still very young, but you'll be shocked that she has a sizable portfolio of real estate already under her belt. It's my honor and privilege to have a chat today with Comfort Olugbami. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
You need to speak louder for our people to hear you.
I'm fine, thank you,
Are you a
sir.
camera shy?
No, I'm not shy,
Okay.
definitely not.
I mean, on set, you just have to be free. This is a free
Yeah.
set. You don't have to. Comfort, I got to meet you when you attended School of Estate. You signed up for School of Estate, and when I took one of the classes, my first class, I asked people to introduce themselves. And here, somebody said, I'm an undergraduate. I wonder, really? Yeah, we do have them, but not every session. We have people that are still undergraduate every now and then. And I usually take special interest in them because for me, it is usually very peculiar when somebody has gotten into financial exposure such that you could pay for a course like the real estate business course that you paid for, because it doesn't come that cheap, you know? And so for you to have seen value enough to put your money down and say, I want to go for this, even as an undergraduate, usually helps me to single out those people. I want to drill down, have chat with them. And when I further engaged you, I discovered more interesting thing, and I said, man, comfy, that's what she's called. For people that know her personally, you just have to be on set. I have to talk to you because a lot of people need to hear your story, and that's why you are here today. So viewers watching on our YouTube channel, you need to stay tuned. Comfort got her first property. Let me give you just one. Comfort got her first property when she was just 16 years old. At 16, what a lot of kids will be doing is to brag that they are now teenagers.
Yeah.
But then you are started doing what mature people do. I mean, she got her first property at 16. How did she do it? What is she worth now? A few years ago, she was 16. A few years ago, what's she worth now? What has that done for her in her financial exposure, understanding, intelligence, and all? Those are the things we'll be talking about today. You know what? If you've not subscribed to Debo Adejano TV, our YouTube channel, and you're watching right now, you want to just go click the subscribe button and also click the notification button so that you can be notified any and every time that we upload a video. So today again, what early financial exposure can do for you. A session with a self-made undergraduate landlord. Comfort. Yeah, so tell me the story. You mentioned how you got a property at 16. What even led to it? Why were you thinking about that at 16?
Okay, so basically, my dad had a friend come over to the house.
Okay.
And he was talking about how he bought about 10 plots of land in Kaduna for 2 million.
In Kaduna?
Yes.
10 plots of land. He bought it for 2 million.
Yes.
That's 200,000 each, probably. Okay.
Exactly. And then he was like, Mr. Johnson, that's my dad's name.
Okay.
In just a span of a few years, the lands I bought for 2 million, they are now worth 20 million naira.
Whoa.
And my dad has never told me to like go inside when older people are talking.
Okay.
Like most Nigerian parents will
do.
Yeah, he always appreciated us staying there, whether we're girls or boys or whatever.
Really?
Just
listening?
listen.
Yeah,
Yes, just
wow,
sit.
that's interesting.
So I heard him and I was like, wow. It was like there was a spark in my ear. I was like, wow, so you bought this for 2 million and it's now worth 20 million. And I stepped out like I didn't hear. I went to continue like washing my shoes, preparing for law.
Okay.
I just got admission
you just got admission at 16. That means you just finished SS3.
Yes, I had already gotten the admission. I was preparing to go back.
To school. Wow.
Yes, exactly. So I just heard that. And then after he left, I met my dad and I was like, see, daddy, I'm going to get a land. Immediately I go to school.
So school is where? Because you're still an undergraduate. You're still pursuing your law career, right?
Yes.
Your law course right now. So school is where?
School is in Ilorin.
Ilorin, and you were telling your dad in Kaduna, and this is probably your first time of going to Ilorin, or you've been to Ilorin before?
No, I haven't. Apart from the post-UME and all
apart
that.
from going to write your post-UME, you just told your dad, look,
register.
when I go to Ilorin, I'm going to get my first land. You've not been to Ilorin before? Other than going to write your post-UME, and just hearing that somebody did 2 million, and then is now worth 20, you were fired up. Man, you are rare, man. You're a rare breed, I must say. Yeah. Okay, so then tell us, continue the story.
So I got back to school. I started making some researches. I didn't even know where to start, really.
Okay.
But I was consistent with my search, talking to people. So I met this particular man, Alhaji Ahmed.
Wait, hold on there. So you first, once you got to school, you started making research. How would one get property in Ilorin and things like that? How to go about it and stuff like that. Note, you see, when you want to do something, you need to do your due diligence. You need to do your fact finding. You need to do your research. And that's what Comfort did. First off, getting to Ilorin. That's why somebody who has not been to Ilorin before can eventually only Now, so wait, because I happened to attend at Ilorin also.
Oh.
That was one other thing that struck me, your story. I think in class you were asking me when did I pass. I said, don't even bother. Because if I tell you, I'm sure you were not born then, But years ago, this is tens of years ago, I passed out from Ilorin. And then so you met Alhaji on campus?
No, I didn't meet him on campus. Okay. I called him. Actually,
where did you see his number?
Yes, I saw his number on the internet.
Okay, so you were searching
I was
online,
searching everywhere. Yes.
Where did you make your research?
Exactly. Right? I was checking online.
Okay.
I spoke to a few people too, like in my church, in Ilorin. And I finally settled for Alhaji because he was so excited. He was curious. He knew that
I'm just thinking of how I would feel if a 16-year-old calls me on my phone and says, sir, I don't know if you can help me or how you can help me. I got your number, blah, blah, blah. I've been looking to how to own a property in Ilorin. I can't imagine how excited I was. So I can imagine how Alhaji felt. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he was excited. When we finally met, we met in a public space because of course I also went with my senior-in-law. She was in her third year, Priscilla.
Okay.
Yes, she accompanied me.
Okay.
We met him and he was like, well, how will you pay? I don't do installments because that's what I was pushing. I was like, sir.
Pushing for negotiating.
I was negotiating.
Wow.
I was like, sir, from home my allowance is just 15K. So no matter how dog-headed I want to be, I can just try to part away with 10,000 per month. And the man, first of all, laughed.
Can you imagine?
He laughed and he was like, wow, I really want to help you, but 10,000 is small. And so he said, okay, just go back to your hostel. I'll think about it.
Okay.
When he said that, I went back. I was praying. I was following up. So I didn't just leave him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just send text messages and be like.
Now, Alhaji, you researched him to be what? To be a developer or what? Or an agent or what?
Okay, so I researched him to be an agent.
Agent, okay.
He was working with a lawyer.
Okay.
Barrister Benson, something like that.
Okay.
Yes, I called her.
Okay.
I was keen about knowing her.
Okay.
I think I spoke to a lecturer of mine to also like confirm
Okay.
if they know her or something like that.
Okay.
But it was majorly for me then. It was a risk.
Okay.
But now I know more, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
less
Yeah.
risky than it
Now,
was the first time.
I can imagine.
Yes. So I kept on doing follow-ups. I was like, sir, you need to consider me. You to think about it now. You'll be proud if I tell people that Alaji helped me at this point.
Which you are saying, which you are doing now,
Yeah.
years after even,
Exactly. So he called for another meeting. This time I went alone.
Okay.
And it was
In a
like
public place as well.
Yes, definitely. And so he accepted, but he said I had to pay a down payment of 70,000 naira.
Whoa.
And I was like, wow. Wahala.
Wahala for who no get 70,000.
And I just happened to have an older sister. So I called her and I'm like, I know this is like tight for you right now because you didn't budget for it, but help me with 70,000. I'll pay you back. I'll keep paying this man the rest and all of that.
So you explained everything to your sister?
Yes, and she was intrigued too, and she was like,
she was
oh,
interested
yes.
in your kind of...
So she helped me.
So she found you the 70,000?
Yes, the initial
initial deposit.
Yes,
you see,
exactly.
when there is a will,
there is a way.
There is a way. I mean, for another person, the 70,000 would have knocked you off. I've had so many stories. There's this friend of mine and somebody I consider a mentor based in the UK. He will tell about the story of how he acquired his first property, I think at age 19 or 17. I think 17. It was his grandmom that also was able to more or less stand in for him to take the mortgage that he needed or to give him the initial deposit, something like that he also needed. But you see, the grandmom was more business conscious because she actually negotiated a return. It's a rate. Said, okay, if I give you this is what you pay me on it, and they went into business together. And that was how he was able to acquire his first property. Today he's a multi-millionaire in pounds sterling. Yeah. So where there is a will, there is always a way. Just look for the way. So you found the 70. Did your sister negotiate any return? She just did it out of her benevolence.
She was very excited. So she just did it.
Oh, great.
And she also knew that if she did it for me, in years to come, my request from her will reduce because I will now be able to take care of myself.
She's doing it to save herself future, whatever. So she's investing in her future and in your own future. Being able to be independent and help your junior ones, together, probably. Great. That's good. That's also some return, really.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not be immediately monetary, but it's some return.
Exactly. So that's how I started. I paid and I was consistent. The best part of it was that when Alaji realized I was consistent, I was diligent, I kept on doing it. He openly told me that, see, when you finish this one and you want another one, you don't have to pay any initial payment. I'll help you because you're consistent. You didn't tell me that my leg broke this this month, so I can't pay.
Can you imagine?
So he was so excited at my consistency. He was giving me receipts for all of it.
Now, he took you to the site, I believe. You went on site inspection.
Yes.
You liked the place. Was the place within town? I don't know how property is in Ilorin. 200,000 naira property. Way back then.
It wasn't really in town.
Okay.
But I saw that development
you saw
was coming.
Yes. Which place is this? What's the name of the place? I still have some
it's around
remembrance of Ilorin.
There's a town called Malete. It's like where Kwasu area is.
Okay.
Yes, but it's deep down. Even now, some people still get for maybe 800,
around the place now.
But around then, that time I bought, pardon, it was just about that.
200.
Yes.
Okay. So Malete area in Ilorin.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where that is. I can't remember. Is it off our side or is it?
No. Kwasu. Do you know Kwasu? Like Kwara State University.
Okay, now I don't. When I was in Ilorin, there wasn't anything like Kwara State
Kwasu
University.
actually came like 2009,
and
2010.
So that's years even after I left Ilorin, you know. Okay, I don't know the area. So it was around Kwasu. That means the university's presence there would have even impacted
Yes,
value of
but
property there.
it wasn't like on the Kwasu
I
landmark. It was
understand.
opposite, like
I understand.
inside.
I get what you're saying. I actually
I
get
mean,
what you're saying. Okay, so that
200,000.
area. Oh, wow, wow,
Yes.
wow. Okay, so did you do any due diligence at the time in terms of the document, the status of the land? Did you know anything like that?
Okay, so
Like whether the
being
land was under acquisition, was free or stuff like
okay,
that?
so like being a law student.
Yes, she's a law student. She's actually a law undergraduate. Yeah.
So I met a senior who
Okay.
when I say senior, he's like a senior. He has been in the practice in a
Okay,
lawyering.
he's left school and
Yes,
he's been practicing.
yes, definitely.
Okay.
He's been practicing in lawyering, and
precisely.
he has been specializing in real
Real estate
estate and property
transactions.
transactions.
Oh, good.
So I met him, Barrister Kunle.
Okay.
I met him in his
You're
office.
just giving credit to everybody. Great, Bryce Akule, thank you for helping Comfy. Yeah, go ahead.
So he let me in his office. He didn't ask for any consultation fee.
Okay.
And that's part of the bonus we get for being young and doing this
That's
thing.
that's what they need to leverage on. I mean, I wanted to say that
Yes.
you see, being young gives you some advantage. I mean, you just soften the heart of any hardened investor. There's no way you come across someone and say you want to achieve this at this your age, this is what you're thinking of. I want to be a part of that story.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So he listened to me and
Okay.
he told me that, oh, Comfort, these are the red flags to look out for. These are the green flags to look out for. And just let me like see the documents when they are done and all of that. So he just pulled me through. So it was actually a legitimate deal because I had him on board.
Oh, great.
Yes. The thing about real estate is you cannot do it on your own. No matter how small you're starting, you need to have people, professionals, talk to people to help you.
Exactly.
Yes. The money you would use on your lawyer will save you a lot. So don't run away
This is your
from
lawyer
it.
side talking now. This is your lawyer side talking. You are
not
trying
just
to
your
protect your
lawyers,
fee.
your estate surveyor.
But like I said, anyway, I always say that use professionals. You can always negotiate those fees. Look at Comfy now. She used her age to negotiate her fee, and her senior colleague was able to just, let me just help this lady. And she got the professional advice for almost nothing, rather than trying to run away from paying the professional fee and then getting, she would have lost her 200,000. We won't be here.
My small 200,000.
We won't be here. We won't be here. So it's very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my dad too was encouraged. He was like, when I came back home from holiday, I was like, you see that land? He said.
Wow. So you didn't tell him all this all the while?
No, because I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I was still like 50-50. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm not yet sure if this thing will pull through.
Okay.
But then when
So after first semester, you went back home?
Yes.
Okay, when the
for,
what? Sorry
for break.
to cut in.
No, when it started looking like, oh, this thing is actually legit, Alaji is actually known in Ilorin, and all of that, I told my dad, and my dad was excited. He was like, I've always known that anything you say, you do it.
Who did you pick this from? Your dad or your mom? What kind of personality would you say you are?
You know
the 4 personality types? Choleric?
Yes,
sanguine?
Yes.
What part would you say? Your temperament type?
I've not really looked
taking
deep into my temperament.
Okay. Well, you look to me like a choleric. There is some choleric there, someone that wants to, a go-getter.
Yes,
a go-getter, right? So some choleric is there.
So my dad or my mom.
Okay.
I don't know, but physically I look like my dad.
Okay.
But the go-getter aspect, I think my mom.
Your mom.
My mom was tough.
Wow.
Very, very tough and strong. Yeah.
Wow.
She always saw ahead.
Okay, I think that is from her. That's good. So go ahead.
Yes, so my personality is just basically for my mom, apart from God.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Then,
Yeah. God has a huge influence on all of us.
Definitely.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So I told him, he was excited, and as every supportive parent should be, he said, okay, I'm not going to continue giving you a 15,000 naira allowance.
Okay.
I'm going to add 10,000 naira to it.
Okay, you know what? I want you to stop at this point because we need to go for a break. You can see that it's getting more and more interesting. In fact, I'm not sure we'll have more than an episode with Comfy, but then this is where we'll be right back after this break.
There comes a time when you need to say, enough is enough. The time to stop that embarrassment at the shopping counter. Insufficient funds. This is the time to say enough to that empty wallet that keeps the stomach hungry, regardless of the fact that you're working very hard. Can you hear the children say it?
If you're wondering whether the little you've got is good enough, don't wonder anymore. Let me show you how to build an investment portfolio with what you have. If you can afford data, you can become an investor.
Yes, now is the time to consider a secure investment that allows you to say goodbye to insufficiency. Sign up for It's All About the Money webinar every Friday at 5 p.m. on Zoom. It's all about the money.
You're welcome back. You're welcome back. Now, that advert is for you every Friday, okay? I will hold a Zoom session. You can see what Comfy did. She bought into an instrumental real estate. I haven't considered all the legitimacy and all of that, 10,000 naira. Now, she bought land. Here, in that advert, what you stand to get into is rental income property. Property that will be giving you rental income. And with 25,000 naira or multiples of it, you can become a part owner of a rental income yielding property. So to know more about it, every Friday, make it a date, follow that link and register, and let's meet. I will explain much more to you. Or if you want to know more, you can also call any of these numbers. Call Ben on 080-9695-7658. I'll repeat that again, 080-9695-7658. Or you call Vivian on 080-8582-3975. I'll repeat that again, 080-8582-3975. Call them and then they will direct you further. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscription button, click on subscribe, and also click on notification. You can always get notification anytime. The money quote for today is from Bruce Lee. You know Bruce Lee? If you don't know Bruce Lee, you are probably young. Bruce Lee was that martial arts guy.
Yeah.
Do you know Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
You've heard about it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I mean, he said something that made great sense, and what used that quote for the money quote of today. Say, if you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. I'm sure Comfort loves life, and she's not wasting time at all. At 16, she has already started going about aggregating real estate, assets. That is how not to waste time, because time is what life is made up of. I believe by the time, you can't tell me that Comfort, for example, will be well off by the time she's 40, 50, 60, if she continues in this trajectory. She would have, before now, I've heard of people who build their first house at 18 and at 19. She's the youngest I've heard of in my own documenting stories. I document stories, okay, of real estate investors and people that are exposed to financial intelligence and literacy and things like that. She's the youngest that I've heard of that actually went out to acquire assets. And this story, I will challenge my kids with it. They are 14 and they will be 15 this year. And I'll tell them, look, this is what somebody is doing. This is what you should be doing. They watch this video, definitely. Jade, Angela, Korede, where you are watching, I said so. I will torment you with this story. Just joking. But I love you. And they are very, very, good children and very dedicated to what they want to do. So I want to see them challenge me and make me happy one of these days, like you did your dad. So go ahead. Let's share more about the story. So you then, where were we? You told your dad?
Yeah, he increased my allowance.
He increased your allowance. Wow, made life easier for you.
Yes.
This after the first semester, so you've spent like 3 months or 4 months in school.
Yeah.
You've done like how many installments at that time?
I should have done like 3 or 4.
You've done like 3 or 4. With your 70,000, you are halfway kind of gone already, and then he increased your. Wow, how were you paying your 70 though?
Okay, after everything.
Okay, you faced the payment of the land first.
Yes, because I didn't want to default on the man.
Great. Okay, so he increased your allowance by 10,000.
Yes.
So 15, you went to 25, meaning that he provided you the 10,000 to be paying for the land.
Yes.
That's another opportunity you get when you are this young. Yeah. When people hear about your story, they feel encouraged to even enable you do more. Great.
That's true. Okay. But when he increased it, I immediately started looking for more opportunities. So that immediately, because I'm like, okay, there's an increment now. So I still made my subconscious believe there was
Don't
no
I
real.
just love you? Don't I just love you? So instead of increasing your largesse and just say, okay, now I have my 15,000 naira back, I can do 10,000 with this, let me get my life back and things like that. No! You are saying, okay, this is an increase. I can do more. I can do more investment. Wow! That's how to think.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
ahead. So what did you do exactly?
I started looking for other opportunities also on the internet and all of that, but I kept on paying for that one.
Okay.
And what I was doing was I was taking out about 5,000 and just storing it that okay, when I finish this one, I'll just continue.
Maybe your
Yes,
down payment for the next one. You're already gathering
exactly.
it.
So
Whoa.
I finished.
Okay.
I finished, and my sister, she like forgave me of the 70,000. She was like, "Oh, so you could finish, just have the 70,000."
Whoa! As if
It's
she
my
didn't collect it back
encouragement.
from you.
No, she didn't.
She forgave you.
Yeah.
Wow!
She forgave me my debts, and she just said, "Okay, Komi, you actually came through with this. I'm so proud of you. Just do anything you want to do. I believe in you." And also, I have 70,000 naira went like that.
Wow!
I was so happy.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, so I went on to sell because I discovered
now,
that
all of these were happening in
okay.
your first year. By this time, you're in your
no,
second year.
No. I was already in my second year. I think I was going to third year.
By the time you finished?
Yes.
Okay, great.
The new goal was now, real estate, there's money in this thing. Or I can actually become a millionaire before I turn 19.
Whoa!
I always gave myself milestones.
Great!
Yes,
you then set a goal of becoming a millionaire before 19 for yourself.
Yes, through real estate.
Real estate. Wow! Go ahead.
So I always pray about these things. I was like, God, if you help me, I will be consistent and I'll always acknowledge you.
One thing I like about you is that as a young girl, you took your life so serious. I mean, you came closer to God. You actually told me when you got born again. I mean, when we're offset. Very fascinating for me. I mean, for a girl that has her head properly screwed, I really, really enjoyed that aspect of you. And I congratulate you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so I said before 19, I want to be a millionaire, and I started looking for ways that I can actually do this. So I realized that one of the things that really sell fast on campus is like restaurant businesses. And one of the restaurants that really inspired me was like Item 7. They always sell out a lot, and I was like, okay, let me just.
What do you mean Item 7?
Item 7.
What's that?
It's the name of a restaurant in Ilorin.
Okay,
yes,
on the campus.
They sell out on campus, off campus. Now they've grown a lot.
Oh,
yes,
it's a brand name now.
It's a brand name.
Item
it's
7,
a household name.
Ilorin,
yes,
everywhere.
yes.
What kind of things do they sell?
They just sell
fast
rice,
food?
party rice.
Okay, just party rice.
Yes.
And they call it Item 7. Wow, interesting. When we were there, I don't know if anybody's watching. Around the time I was in Ilorin, there was one guy. He's a graduate. We were told he's a graduate. Yes. We were told he was a graduate at the time. He came to campus to sell akara. Forgotten what he calls his akara again. Do you know that all of us target that akara? During lunch period, you will have either asked somebody to help you buy, or you will be at the hostel to buy so that you can take it with your gari. Students now have to know. Gari has to just be in the mix somehow, And this guy will go all through the compounds. We used to have, for male, we used to have those compound A to H or something at the time. Compound A, B, C. I don't know if those compounds still exist. I'm sure they still exist. Maybe they won't be called compounds anymore.
We have private hostels and
I know they have private hostels now. Then when I was there was when they built Abuja hostel for ladies at the time. They started it, and this was I left Ilorin in 1994. I would have left 1993, but for ASU strike, 1994. So this is a long time ago. This guy was selling akara and he became, I think he even had somewhere in town and all of that. It's not today that food has been very good on campus, very good business. So you discovered that, and what did you do? Yes,
I discovered that, and then I sold what I bought for 200. That's real estate. I sold it for 600,000 naira.
Wow.
Yes.
This would be like after 2-3 years?
Not up to 3, like a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay,
like around
2
that
years.
Span.
From when you started, you sold.
Yes,
so you bought for 200, and in 2 years you were able to sell for 300.
Yes, a year and a half, 2 anyway.
A year and a half, 2. That's a very good property. I must tell you, that's a very good property.
Yeah. So I sold, And
For 600.
yes, and then I started my restaurant.
Mm.
So the goal behind it was, okay, start the restaurant, make more installmental money, and keep buying real estate installmentally.
Great.
So
Wow.
so I continued with allergy. The lawyer also told me about another company,
Size.
another person.
Okay.
I continued with them. They were also doing some things in Ibejuleki.
Okay.
I did that, so
Okay.
all on installment, and
Mm.
it was just dependent on the
On the food
restaurant, on the
business.
food business, exactly.
Wow.
So I kept on expanding. I actually hit a millionaire before I turned 19, about 2 months before my 19th birthday.
You were worth a million naira
Yes.
in your assets.
Yes, in my asset.
Wow.
In my assets.
Wow.
I was.
Interesting.
I was.
Interesting.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the goal for you is not a million naira anymore.
No.
So what's the current goal now?
100.
Whoa. You know why I asked that? Because I know that you must always have goals. They propel you. You know, the interesting thing about your story is that, look, you also looked at the dynamics of it. So you got into land and you bought your first land, and then you were going to sell it, and you were looking at it, okay, if I must be buying more, there must be something that is feeding me. Real estate is not the type that can easily feed you, at least at that stage. What I mean by feed you with capital to invest more. So you then turned it into a business. You took your 600,000, and part of it you did some business that you know will be daily returns. And from that money, you can be expanding your investments, your real estate investment
That was
assets.
the deal, yes.
Wow. Who taught you all of this? Who will you say to? From that conversation you dropped on
that conversation
in the sitting room of your dad.
it.
Did you look for that man? That your dad's
yes, I
friend?
called
Have you met him?
Okay, I'm about to start my own real estate business that focuses on like young people like me to go through this.
Yeah.
So I had to like call a lot of people to thank them and say, I'm starting this.
Yeah.
You inspired it. And so I went. The man works with NMPC.
Okay.
So I called him and I was like, we call him president.
Okay.
And he was so excited. He was like, I can't believe this. So yes, he knows now, but he didn't know then. He just said it like casually.
He was just discussing with your dad.
Exactly. So he was so happy that came out from that conversation.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm sure he will be so elated.
Yeah, he's so happy.
Great. So you said you're working on something now.
Yeah.
Can you share a bit about it?
Okay.
So you'll be launching soon?
Yes. The first week of March, by God's grace, we're launching. It's a business that focuses on young investors. Based on my story, I'm like telling everybody that, okay, people say Nigeria is hard, but the truth is, what can be hard is the state of your mind, not the country. If you want to make things happen, you have to look for every possible legitimate way to actually make it happen. So
you have to look for. It's your responsibility.
It is your responsibility.
And it doesn't have to be crooked way. There are legitimate
ways. So what I'm doing for them is I'm taking out the initial deposit. You know, mine was more difficult because I had to do initial deposit. I'm removing it, and I'm like, okay, all of you that are young, very, very young people, come on board and let's do this together. This is Nigeria after all, and Section 43 of our Constitution has already told us that it is your right. It's part of your right to own property, to own land in Nigeria. So
wow. You know, I like the fact that you read law or you are reading law. I don't know whether it is these innate qualities and desires in you that even made you to go study law, because everything just fits so well. I mean, there is a vital role that documentation, legal practice, legal knowledge plays in real estate acquisition and ownership and all of that. Then here you are. You've also ventured into real estate investment proper, and then you're about to be a law graduate. You know, you're about to be, so all of it just fits together, kind of. What made you study law?
Okay, I don't know. I'll say God. Like, you know, when God has a plan for you, He just weaves everything all together and people start to ask how and all. So I feel like God.
So your mom wasn't a lawyer, your dad isn't a lawyer?
No, none of them are lawyers. Yes, but my dad encouraged me a lot. So I just remember saying sometime in JS3 that I think because just 2 is the breaking point where you decide if you're going to art or science. So I'm like, okay, let me just go to art and read law in the end of it. And God made everything easy from the admission to the, so we were just like, okay, God's hand is in it, so let me just go ahead and do it. But now it's an advantage. At some point I was thinking of, law is very stressful. I was saying,
having to cram all this constitution and all this
and I was so
subsection.
interested in business and real estate and all of it. But my dad kept on encouraging me that it's going to be an added value, an advantage to anything I want to do. So I just kept on going.
That's also the advantage of having somebody ahead of you, somebody that can speak to your life, your parents, mentor, things like that. So that advice made you to still bear the challenges of going through law. That's interesting. I'm really so pleased talking to you and hearing what you've done and what you are planning to do. I was discussing with you off here that there are a lot that awaits people. For us as a company, for example, one of our goals is to democratize real estate investment, to make it possible for people. When we started out over about 16 years now, we said the earlier you own a property, the better. The earlier you own a property, the better. Because a lot of times people think that real estate is not a joke. If you really want to make anything out of your life, you must be thinking about how to put real estate in your portfolio. And for you to have achieved it at the age of 16, wow, and now helping other people to achieve it is just worth celebrating. So what would you say, or would you say going through this has enabled you to do? I know now it has enabled you to think about how to help other people. But what are the qualities you've been able to garner from going through this journey?
I've learned about financial freedom. I've also learned financial management. I really learned how to put my money together and say, oh, this is what this is for. Oh, this is not for luxury right now. Luxury will come later. Or, okay, you've done...
delayed gratification.
Exactly.
Do you have a car now?
Not yet, but soon this year.
Soon this year. But not yet. Because
not yet.
I'm sure it's not as if you don't have money to buy a car. No. But you know that within your portfolio mix, it's not yet time. You delayed that gratification. But now it's going to be about time.
Especially because there are some properties in Ibeju-Lekki that are going for almost what a car costs.
Yes.
And we know what's happening now in Ibeju-Lekki. So you just have to delay some gratification. Some things are not really important yet.
Great.
So I've learned financial freedom, financial management. I've also learned to put people in vision. I've learned to see people differently actually from doing that, because on a normal day I will not meet an Alhaji. Alhaji is a Muslim man, I'm a Christian girl.
You may think, what have I?
Exactly.
But here you are, because you know that business is not business is not, I don't want to use the word religious, because being a Christian, a practicing Christian, is not religion. It's a way of life.
Exactly.
But business is not about any dichotomy. Business is about business.
Exactly.
Once you're doing something legitimate and all, and their business ethics are being followed, there is nobody you really can't do business with.
So I learned that too. Just growing up, I wouldn't have known that I can do business with anybody. But he showed me that anybody can mentor you in a particular area. He knew almost every market in Ilorin. Almost everybody, they all know him and all. And now that I'm planning on starting my business, it's like the go-to person. He's one of the go-to persons.
Are you planning on starting in Ilorin also? Are you planning to settle down in Ilorin?
No. Okay. I'm not sure, but...
You're not sure, of course. You won't determine that.
Exactly.
I guess. Who is that lucky guy? Who is that lucky guy? I want to meet him, definitely, when that comes. I mean, if there's anybody or if that comes, I definitely want to meet him. I want to shake his hand and warn him that, look, I know Comfy. She must not change. She can only get better.
Yes.
But I trust that God will guide you.
Yes, amen. Good, I trust too.
Good. I'm so happy. I hope that our viewers feel as much as I feel. So much joy in my heart. I mean, sharing this story. This was why when I heard about Comfy's story, I said, you just must be on set with me, And definitely this is the beginning of greater relationships to come, because I can see someone of vision and we also love to be part of that story. So this is it. The lessons you've picked there share with your kids. If you are a parent watching this, you want to sit your kids down and make them watch this episode. This is an episode you want to share with your children. Like I said, I definitely get my kids to watch this because they should be thinking about it, to make their lives a lot better. If I had the opportunity earlier on, like I always say, we would all be better off than where we are now if we had started like her. At 16, what you're thinking of is how to bath up. And that bathing up self is not how to buy it with your own hands. How to make mommy and daddy go buy something for you so that you can look good, eat and all of that. That's all you're thinking of. She was already thinking of about herself. So thank you very much for watching. If you've not subscribed to the channel, you want to subscribe. And watch out. Whenever she starts her stuff, we'd also bring her here to share it and also let your kids participate in it because it can definitely help them. Till I come your way in another episode, I remain yours sincerely, Debo Adejano, your financial jailbreaker, escape crusader, and the emperor of the Sack Your Landlord dynasty. You want to say goodbye to our viewers?
Yes, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much, Mr. Debo, for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Just make sure whatever you do, you invest in real estate and you take it seriously. Start with your mind. It's a matter of your mind. It's not a matter of money. Don't always look at the bank. Look inward. If you want to do something, find a way of doing it. Thank you very much again, Mr.
You're welcome.
Debo.
You're welcome. Soft-spoken, but very, very... In fact, that's a dynamite right there. Okay? So thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And thank you for watching. See you in our next episode. Till then, I remain Debo Adejano, helping you sack your landlord.
Welcome to Total Financial Makeover with Debo Adejano. Move from lack or barely enough to abundance. Renting to letting. From struggling to thriving. Blick to living the dream. Totally in control. Your head above the waters. Taking safe and superb financial decisions always.